I recently stepped away from a career practicing traditional medicine to build my own business. And one of the reasons I pivoted careers was due to dissatisfaction with the modern medical system. And over the last year, I found other experts in the field who feel the same way. And in my pursuit of a longer, healthier life, I look at a few role models for guidance. One such expert who has recently made waves in the longevity field is Dr. Peter Attia and his book Outlive. Given my experience in medicine and interest in longevity, I feel pretty compelled to tell you what is missing in modern medicine and explore how we can potentially extend our health span and lifespan using some of my favorite principles in Outlive. So to highlight my dissatisfaction with modern medicine, let's talk about health span and lifespan. So lifespan is our total time on earth. So for example, if you pass away at 90, your lifespan is 90 years. Health span, on the other hand, is how long you remain healthy and are able to do whatever you want to do, like playing with your grandkids, jogging, jumping, managing finances, or living without pharmaceuticals. And I will put a graph up here. In a typical life represented by the light blue line, we generally live pretty okay until our 40s or 50s. Then factors like sleep deprivation, poor nutrition, lack of exercise, high stress, they all start to cause health issues, continuing this downward trend until we eventually pass away. These health issues mainly consist of cardiovascular disease, cancer, metabolic dysfunction like diabetes, and cognitive disorders like Alzheimer's. So modern medicine, shown by the red line here, follows a pretty similar trajectory until intervention occurs. So for example, you're 55 years old and you catch high blood pressure when you go to your doctor, or high cholesterol and you start some medication. These interventions may increase lifespan slightly, but often with poor health. Medications rarely restore peak health. They merely extend life and manage the condition when damage is already done. So my goal here, and the reason I make a lot of these videos, is illustrated by the green line. It's to correct the lifestyle choices, improve the overall habits from the start. So this approach aims to maintain peak health for as long as humanly possible. And this is why I want my own medical practice to be lifestyle medicine. I want to be the doctor you see before you see a doctor, because we focus on optimizing movement, nutrition, stress, and sleep. Dr. Peter Attia refers to society's current approach, the red line, as medicine 2.0. Where treatment typically begins only after a patient has fallen ill. Instead, he and I both advocate for a shift to medicine 3.0, the green line, which is a preventative approach that aims to stop diseases before they even start in the first place. Sounds like a winning situation. So while his book does touch on treatment methods, its primary focus is on prevention strategies that we can all implement into our daily lives. So without further ado, let's get into the science of longevity and the top prevention strategies. So first off, nutrition is the cornerstone of longevity. Dr. Attia's approach to diet is nuanced and tailored, recognizing that individual response to different nutritional strategies can vary pretty widely, and that's something I abide by myself. What works for me may not be the thing for you or even someone closely related to you. So given that heart disease remains the leading cause of death in the United States, it's no surprise that Dr. Attia dedicates significant attention to cardiac health, and this will kick off our discussion on nutrition. He and I both have personal histories with this, with many male relatives succumbing to heart disease at relatively young ages. But the good news is that medical advancements are making heart disease a lot easier to treat and prevent. So one intriguing approach that Dr. Attia discusses is the ketogenic diet. Good old keto, lots of butter and meat. But he does put a pretty unique spin on it. So while many keto enthusiasts focus on saturated fats like the butter and meat, Dr. Attia suggests a diet rich in monounsaturated fats. Recommend sources like extra virgin olive oil, the olive oil of my people, macadamia nuts, avocados, things like that. And that's why I'm big on the Mediterranean diet and high consumption of extra virgin olive oil. Those heart health benefits are very, very real. Consuming a diet higher in monounsaturated fat may help prevent the rise in triglycerides often seen with high saturated fat intake, which can be detrimental to your heart health. I don't care what all these random carnivore people say. Our boy Dr. Attia cites the PREDIMED trial as compelling evidence for the benefits of a high-fat Mediterranean diet. This Spanish study involved like 7,000-ish participants aged 55 to 80, all at high risk for heart disease, which is not a good thing for them. The participants were divided into 3 groups. 2 were following a high-fat Mediterranean diet, and 1 supplemented with olive oil, the other one with nuts, and a control group on a low-fat diet. Results so striking that the study was halted after 4.5 years instead of the planned 6. The olive oil and nut groups showed significant improvements in cardiovascular health and memory, while the low-fat group experienced declines in both of those areas. So boom, there you have it. This study highlights the potential benefits of incorporating monounsaturated fats into your diets. So just have some olive oil, it's simple. And beyond that, we all know we need to eat healthy, but there are a few other interventions that could significantly improve heart health. Attia also highlights 2 seemingly simple practices that could have pretty profound effects. One is daily flossing, literally just flossing your teeth, and the other one is regular sauna use. So good oral health maintained through practices like daily flossing, brushing your teeth, not skipping, that's gross, don't skip, is associated with better overall health. Microbes known to cause gum disease have been found in other parts of the body, potentially contributing to various health issues. So for instance, there's a microbe called Porphyromonas gingivalis, I think that's how it's pronounced, known for causing gum disease and has been found in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. Crazy, right? As for sauna use, Finnish studies have shown that men who use saunas regularly, at least 4 times a week for 20 minutes at temperatures of, around 180 degrees Fahrenheit, I think that's around 80 degrees Celsius, experience fewer cardiac events than those who use them less frequently or not at all. If just sitting in a hot room for 20 minutes could potentially improve both brain and heart health, you better believe I'm going all in on that. And if you want a video on the benefits of sauna, I already did one. It's a few videos ago. I may link it here if I remember. But some people are already dealing with elevated triglycerides and LDL cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol, and medication shouldn't be ignored if it'll improve your health. Dr. Attia discusses various medications, including certain statins like Crestor, and some other medicines like Nexlizet, Zetia, and PCSK9 inhibitors, and another one called Vascepa. As for actionable steps, I'm interested more in the latter one, which is derived from fish oil. So, going off to fish oil, contains a high dose of EPA, which is an omega-3 fatty acid, beneficial for your heart, so it's one of my top recommended supplements for overall health. I really recommend this to everyone. Omega-3 fatty acids are going to be key for both heart and brain health. And there are 2 main omega-3s, EPA and DHA. While EPA is particularly beneficial for the heart, DHA is more crucial for brain health and may help prevent neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and dementia. Given that few people have optimal omega-3 levels through diet alone, Dr. Attia suggests considering a high-quality omega-3 supplement, and it's something I've been doing for like the last decade or so. But what if I'm vegan? So if you're following a vegan or a vegetarian diet, there are some algae-derived omega-3 supplements that are available also, so there's no excuse here. Moving on, if you know me, you know I love my protein. Adequate protein intake is essential for maintaining muscle mass as you age. So this view contrasts with some other longevity researchers who actually advocate for protein restriction. Dr. Attia suggests that protein is the most important macronutrient and that we should be consuming enough of it every single day, ideally spread throughout the day. This recommendation is based on the crucial role protein plays in muscle protein synthesis and maintenance, which becomes increasingly important as you age. So we naturally lose muscle mass each decade of our lives, so maintaining your protein consumption will be key to reducing muscle turnover. But again, this view isn't universally held in the longevity community, so keep that in mind. There's some researchers like Dr. David Sinclair and Dr. Stephen Gundry often caution against excessive protein intake, particularly from animal sources, citing potential activation of mTOR pathways, which are something that may accelerate aging. So we have protein, now let's go into arguably the most delicious macronutrient, good old carbs. So while not advocating for complete carbohydrate restriction, Dr. Attia emphasizes the importance of maintaining stable blood glucose levels. He is a proponent of continuous glucose monitoring, or CGM for short, for understanding and optimizing your own metabolic health. And the long story short is that excessive amounts of sugar can increase cellular aging. Basically, too much sugar may reduce your health span and lifespan. Simple as that. And according to David Sinclair, the other longevity researcher, it all comes down to adenosine 5-monophosphate activated protein kinase, or AMPK for short, which is an enzyme known as the body's master regulator of energy metabolism. AMPK is linked to blood sugar. When cells are starved of blood sugar, like when fasting, AMPK is activated. AMPK makes more mitochondria, aka the powerhouse of the cell, and we lose mitochondria as we get older. So poor mitochondrial function is linked to heart disease, dementia, type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and insulin resistance. So mitochondria are essential for metabolizing what you eat and making energy. So when you activate that AMPK by fasting or maintaining stable blood sugar, you'll have more energy and feel better as well. Sounds like a good time. So these CGM devices, usually implanted in the upper arm, you may see some people with diabetes have it, provide real-time blood glucose data on your phone. While currently you may only be able to get these with prescription, sometimes you may be able to get them elsewhere, not entirely sure. Dr. Attia believes they could be a valuable tool for anyone looking to maintain healthy blood glucose levels. And if you don't have access to a CGM, even just a standard glucose meter can still provide pretty useful insights into how different foods affect your blood sugar levels. But Dr. Attia cautions that glucose is just one health marker among many, and a holistic approach to health is crucial overall. And honestly, I think CGMs aren't the most sustainable for most people, but if you're particularly interested in maximizing your longevity, could be a helpful tool. Me personally, I'm not gonna walk around with like a tool, strapped to my arm or like, my glute or anything like that. So your mileage may vary here. Next, beware of alcohol. Honestly, I don't think I need to go into this one too much. Avoid alcohol as much as possible, simple as that. Moderate alcohol consumption, even red wine, does not really have any health benefits. It's gonna worsen your sleep, cause deficiencies in certain vitamins and minerals, and of course lead to a less productive next day. We're all guilty of feeling this. But one area where Dr. Attia's views may surprise some people is related to fasting. While he previously practiced and recommended prolonged fasting, he now expresses reservations about its widespread use, which I think has become a lot more popular in the last several years. His main concern is about the potential loss of muscle mass during those extended fasts. I'm talking like, 2 to 7 days and beyond. As I said earlier, Dr. Attia stresses the importance of consistent protein intake throughout the day to maintain and grow your muscle mass. He cautions against the mindset that fasting allows unrestricted eating during feeding windows, and this can lead to to poor dietary choices and potential weight gain. In my opinion, I think this one is pretty highly individual. I don't think a daily intermittent fasting schedule will lead to reductions in muscle mass significantly by any means. Instead, it may be a healthy way to maintain blood sugar levels and eat in a sustainable style for you. Me personally, my family's Greek. They're like, finish all your food, so I like big meals. It's been ingrained in me. So intermittent fasting works in my life. But if there's one takeaway from Outlive that overshadows all others, I think it's the importance of exercise. Dr. Attia describes exercise as the best longevity drug available, capable of increasing both lifespan and health span. So from aerobic training to endurance exercise and strength training, all forms of physical activity can significantly reduce all-cause mortality, which basically means just dying from any reason. Dr. T actually places particular emphasis on zone 2 cardio training. This refers to a level of exercise intensity where you're working hard enough to elevate your heart rate and breathing, but not so hard that you can't maintain a conversation. This should be kind of like an out of breath conversation, but still be able to speak full sentences. It's often described as kind of comfortably hard. The beauty of zone 2 training lies in its efficiency in improving cardiovascular health and metabolic flexibility. So this type of exercise enhances your body's ability to use fat for fuel, improves your insulin sensitivity, and boosts mitochondrial function, all crucial factors for longevity. To determine your zone 2, Dr. Attia recommends using a lactate meter, aiming for a blood lactate level between 1.7 and 2.0 millimoles per liter during exercise. Most of us do not have a lactate meter, so a rough estimate is around 70% to 80% of your maximum heart rate, which you could use a calculator online and figure that out yourself. Another key metric Dr. Attia discusses is VO2 max, which is the maximum rate at which your body can use oxygen during intense exercise. It's considered one of the best indicators of cardiovascular fitness and has been strongly linked to longevity and how long you'll live. Improving your VO2 max can effectively lower your biological age, potentially adding years to your life. High intensity interval training, or HIIT, is particularly effective for boosting your VO2 max, but consistent zone 2 training can also lead to pretty significant improvements over time as well. So if you hate HIIT or hate zone 2, you kind of do a little bit of a mix and match of both. Dr. Attia suggests regularly testing your VO2 max and working to improve it as part of a comprehensive exercise routine. And a lot of modern fitness trackers and smartwatches can actually estimate your VO2 max, making it easier than ever to track this important metric. But again, it is an estimate. Usually you'll have to be in a lab with a bunch of sensors and stuff, so it may not be the most sustainable. Beyond traditional exercise, Dr. Attia emphasizes the importance of stability training. So good stability allows us to continue our favorite physical activities well into old age and reduces the risks of falls and injuries. We all have an older relative that fell or something like that, or know someone that fell. It's very detrimental to you, so make sure that you're not falling, and mobility and stability will help with that. While specific exercises are best demonstrated visually, just incorporating some stability work into your fitness routine could pay dividends as you age. But just to summarize, overall, you gotta have a balanced approach to exercise here. So this is gonna include some zone 2 cardio for metabolic health, high intensity interval training for your VO2 max, strength training for muscle mass and bone density, and some stability work for injury prevention and functional fitness. Exercise doesn't just benefit cardiovascular health, it's gonna help maintain your muscle mass, which of course, as I mentioned a million times already, becomes increasingly important as you age. Muscle mass can protect against injuries from falls, which again is a leading cause of accidental death in people over the age of 65. But be mindful with your exercise technique, however. Injuries are not gonna help you in your health journey, and especially your longevity journey as well if you're confined to your couch or your bed or something like that. So even periodically filming yourself during your workouts can be a great tool just to make sure you're ensuring proper form and preventing long-term damage. But remember, the best exercise routine is one that you can actually maintain consistently over time. Start where you are, gradually increase your intensity and duration, and listen to your body here. I'm sorry guys, but I feel like a broken record when I talk about sleep. So Dr. Attia dedicates an entire chapter to sleep. I talk about sleep all the time, probably in every single video. It's important for brain health, heart health, and overall well-being. I'm a very miserable person if I sleep, 6 hours or less. You don't want to be around me. And of course, poor sleep quality can increase the risk of various health issues like heart attack, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, elevated triglycerides, lower testosterone, and of course a weakened immune system as well. Like I said, I'm a miserable person and I don't sleep enough, so that's enough motivation for me. But on the flip side, good sleep can also enhance endurance, strengthen your muscles better, improve your VO2 max, and actually reduce the risk of injury as well. To improve your sleep quality, I'm just gonna do a rapid list off here. Sleep in a dark, cold room, avoid alcohol, especially before bed, limit your caffeine intake. I try not to have any after 2 or 3 p.m. when I go to bed at 10 or 11. Abstain from stimulating electronics before bedtime. Very simple things, just have some good hygiene. Moving on to neurodegenerative disease. So this one is a tough one. So my grandmother had Alzheimer's for years, and it was truly a very difficult sight to watch the progression of the disease. Dr. Attia acknowledges that there's still much we don't understand about the underlying causes of neurodegenerative disease. Neurodegenerative, that's kind of like a tongue twister, I don't know. Anyway, while factors like amyloid beta and tau proteins are often found in the brains of patients with neurodegeneration, Their exact role kind of remains pretty unclear. Genetics could be a big component here. There are some particular genes. Carriers of the ApoE4 gene are at higher risk of developing Alzheimer's. But genetics aren't destiny. There's plenty of people with the ApoE4 gene that never develop the disease, especially if they also carry another protective gene called the FOXO3 gene. And while there's currently no cure for neurodegenerative disease, Dr. Attia outlined several preventative measures, which I think are very important to start with. Many overlap with the heart health strategies like sauna use, flossing, omega-3 fatty acids, some ketones, monounsaturated fats, good old olive oil, sleep, and of course exercise. Additionally, there are some potential benefits of B vitamins and vitamin D in preventing dementia and Alzheimer's. And interestingly, grip strength also correlates with better cognitive function and could potentially help prevent neurodegeneration. And again, this all highlights the importance of maintaining your overall physical fitness as you age. On to the tough one, cancer. We all hate cancer. But unlike heart disease and neurodegenerative disorders, Dr. Attia doesn't really provide a comprehensive list of prevention strategies for cancer. Unfortunately, cancer is complex, it sucks, and different types of cancer respond to different treatments and prevention methods. But there is some general advice for cancer prevention, which I wholeheartedly agree with. Again, I'm a broken record. Exercise regularly. Another one is to practice calorie restriction. And actually a 25% reduction in calories has been associated with a 50% lower incidence of cancer, but in animal studies. Obvious this one, don't smoke, maintain a healthy weight, avoid insulin resistance. But given all the challenges of preventing all types of cancer, Dr. Attia emphasized the importance of regular screenings. Recommends getting screened every 2 to 3 years, depending on your age here. Obviously, if you're older, maybe that frequently, younger, a little bit less. You just want to make sure that you're catching any potential issues early. But this one's especially important if you have specific cancer genes or a family history of a specific type of cancer. So definitely ask your parents or look at your family tree. I don't know, do something. But one of the most exciting developments in cancer treatment that Dr. Attia discusses is immunotherapy. So this approach involves helping the immune system recognize and attack cancer cells. While currently only effective for a few specific types of cancer, I think immunotherapy is going to show some great promise in the next coming years. When it does work, it often leads to a long-lasting remission with a low chance of reoccurrence. Now for the fun stuff, the longevity drugs. And while these are inaccessible to most, there's still some interesting data on some longevity drugs and compounds that can dramatically improve your health span and lifespan, and I think they're worth mentioning here just for research purposes and that I read the book and I want to share it with you. One of the most intriguing topics Dr. Attia discusses is rapamycin, which is a drug he considers highly promising for longevity. It was originally discovered on Easter Island, yes, Easter Island, and used as an immunosuppressant for organ transplant patients. Rapamycin has shown life-extending properties in various organisms. So I mentioned mTOR earlier. Rapamycin works by inhibiting mTOR, which is a nutrient-sensing pathway that regulates protein production and cell division. So when mTOR is inhibited, the body's going to conserve energy, slow cell division, and activate autophagy, which is basically killing off your own cells, especially the cancerous ones. These effects mirror those seen with calorie restriction and fasting, both known to extend lifespan in various species. The challenge with rapamycin is balancing its potential benefits with the risk of suppressing your immune system here. So Dr. Attia suggests that intermittent high-dose use, like once a week, might provide longevity benefits without compromising your immune function here. But again, there's more research needed in this area, not recommending it. Do your own research, talk to your own doctor. And another medication worth mentioning is metformin, which is a type 2 diabetes drug that helps regulate blood sugar. So interestingly enough, researchers have noticed that diabetics taking metformin often live longer than non-diabetics and have lower cancer rates, which is mind-blowing. There is a current study going on called TAME, which stands for Targeting Aging with Metformin, and that aims to determine if metformin can delay the onset of age-related diseases in healthy individuals. And hopefully there's a lot more to come on that one. So as you can see from many of these tips and strategies, our modern medical system does not really talk about optimization and getting you to peak health. I think Outlive offers some insights that challenge conventional wisdom or differ from other experts in the field, but I always appreciate an evidence-based approach and personal dedication to the subject. I think that makes his work highly valuable to the longevity discussion. By focusing on preventative strategies, maintaining your heart and brain health, exercise regularly, prioritize sleep, and staying informed about emerging treatments and technologies, I think we could all take steps toward living longer, healthier lives. And folks, that is that. Thank you for watching the video. Hopefully you can apply some of these and live to the ripe age of 150 years old. Honestly, you probably have the first person that's gonna live to 150 years old alive today, which I think is crazy to think about. They're probably exercising, or honestly, maybe they're one of those people that are smoking a pack of cigarettes a day and drinking a 6-pack, but you never know. Regardless, again, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already, like the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.